When it comes time to prepare food for our dogs, I have a ton of options, and you can have these options as well. If I'm going to make raw food for our dogs, I'm going to use my grinder. Now this happens to be a 1 horsepower and it's from Cabela's and it's called a Carnivore. The 1 horsepower, this thing weighs 68 pounds. It doesn't get moved around a lot. It finds a home and it stays there. But this is great. It will grind whole rabbits, whole chickens, the smaller turkey bones. I would not do beef bone in this, but it does a great job of grinding all those vegetables and fruits where we need to break down the plant cell walls. It'll grind up the organ meat and we can mix it all together. So I love this. We also have a smaller grinder if we're not going to be doing any bone. We just want to get some ground fruits, veggies, and meats. So we can do that as well. But at one time we had 10 dogs and we were grinding about 125 pounds of food in one sitting. And we could do that in an hour with this grinder. So this grinder is pretty powerful. If you're really serious or you have larger dogs or you have a lot of dogs, then I do recommend getting something that size. We have a small kitchen scale that we can weigh our ingredients on if we're being really particular about how much we're adding as far as supplements, seeds, powders, that sort of thing. So we have that. This is our slow cooker, which is a pretty good size one. And so if we have dogs where they are going to do better on something that is sort of pre-digested, sometimes the seniors, sometimes dogs with some digestive issues where they're not absorbing their foods as well, by grinding and slow cooking or slow cooking and then using an immersion blender to chop it all up, that can be really good for dogs with digestive issues. Another option that we are going to use for a lot of the meats that are in the freezer, some of those tough steaks, is we're going to use our dehydrator. This dehydrator, again, is from Cabela's. This particular one has 10 drying racks in it, and I love this thing. It's got herbs in it from drying herbs. You can see these are open, so the air can circulate all the way around them. And usually what I'll do is I'll put whatever I want to dehydrate on my shelves. If we're doing meats or organs, they're going to be about 1/4 inch thick. Put them in there. It has multiple settings. I'll put it on a fairly low setting and leave it all night so that in the morning I've got these wonderful treats that I can use for the dogs. I also use this summer for drying herbs from my garden that I can use for part of the dog food for the herbal properties. So I have oregano, I have dill, I have some dried basil, and I have actually 2 kinds of parsley, and I have dill seed. So we can use this for a lot of different things. We could dehydrate fruits in there. The more moisture there is, for instance, pears, you want to make pretty thick slices and they're going to shrink down to not much because they have so much moisture content in them. But it does really well with meats and organs, and I love it for my herbs and some of the other vegetables. So if you wanted to do sweet potatoes or carrots, parsnips, that sort of thing would work really well in there.